Good morning. How are you? Welcome to Two Girls Treasure on a Tuesday morning. I hope you have either had all your coffee or you have a fresh cup to share with this morning. Look, I did do just a little bit more. I went ahead and I put the transfer piece in that bottom cubby and I added the black and white. I'll show that to you in just a minute. But welcome to Coffee and Create. I'm Diane Pruitt. I'm the proprietor of Two Girls Treasure right here in Florence, South Carolina. We're your Rethunk Junk authorized retailer in the area. We also carry Iron Orchid Designs. And today, if I'm not mistaken, is the last day of the month. It's the last day of our February Coffee and Create collection specials. So if you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, thank you for joining me this morning. I appreciate it. If you want to shop the collection and save, hop on over to our website. Use the link that's provided right here or right here. I'm not sure which way you're looking, but there's a link to our live shopping stream. And once you get there, you can click the interactive mode and you can shop any of the products that we've been using in February on our lives. And with the coupon code COFFEE, you can save 10% on your purchase. Thanks for being here this morning. As you pop in, say hello so I know you're with me. If you've watched part 1 and 2 from Tuesday and Wednesday last week, let me know, because today I want to add some flora and fauna with our Iron Orchid Design stamps, as well as with our Rethunk Junk paint products. And then we will go live again to finish up as I soften the look, bring it all together into one cohesive visual for this wild and crazy bungalow cupboard. I'm trying to find a base for this, and we have a buffet that will fit this look. I'm just not positive yet. That it is exactly what we'll use to mount this. I also, by chance, ended up with a set of braceable legs on Saturday evening, and they're not really tall, so I could make this a freestanding cabinet. And you know there will be lights in here because we're gonna have to light up the night when we finish this up. So let's get started today. Again, thank you for being here. This is going to be part 3 of our bungalow series. Hi, I'm gonna move you down so you can see the entire visual without having to look at an angle, because when you're looking at something online and you can't exactly see, look, there's all my Iron Orchid Designs and all of our paint. But if you can't exactly see, you end up trying to look around the curve online and you can't see. And that's just crazy. Look at the black and white element in there. I love it. I think I'll turn the light on today so that we can see a little bit better. Let me plug it into our handy little port right there. And let's see if that makes a difference. Let's change that to some clean light. Oh yeah, that made a little bit of a difference right there, so we'll go with it. And if you are, good morning, Lynette. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much. I'm going to grab my Tough Top. Our Rethunk Junk Tough Top is a water-based sealant. You know what? I was cheating. That's what I get for cheating. I started to put this on and I didn't finish. So let me finish, because I can't seal it if it's not applied, can I? So we'll put this on. I'm really not going to stress over the elements of this piece that don't transfer, because honestly, this piece has been sitting in my leftover pieces bucket, and it's an older piece. It's probably a year, year and a half, 2 years old, leaning heavily on the 2 years old side. But I don't throw away any of my pieces. I try hard to use them, but these do have a life, and if you don't use them, they'll go bad. It's worse than eggs or milk. And we can't afford to waste any of those, so we sure don't want to waste any of these. And that's the whole point of using the Bungalow on this particular project. You know, I wait, which is why I have all these leftover pieces. I wait to use something. I think the perfect piece is gonna come up. I'm afraid if I use it, then I won't have it. Just because I'm a retailer doesn't mean I can afford to use whatever I want. I still have to buy it. I still have to pay for it. And if I use all of my merchandise, I won't be able to sell it. And I can't afford to eat like that. So we're gonna make the best out of this piece of transfer. There we go. And a lot of times, if it's stuck, if it won't release, you really just have to manipulate it to get it to do what you want. You hear that little crackle and all that noise? That means that it's releasing with a little bit of air. So if you can catch that air and get that little scritchy sound, then you can get it off. Use the air to your advantage here. There we go. Oopsie. Now I want to be careful here because I don't want to scratch any of this off that's already on there. So I will slow down just a little bit. There we go. Whoosh. That was not easy. That's what happens when your transfers get old. Now, there was some discussion last week when we were working on this about the Bungalow transfer set being difficult to release. I honestly didn't find that it was terrible for me, but if you have purchased the Bungalow transfer and you have a problem, please, if you bought it from me, please let me know. If you bought it from another retailer, please let your retailer know. Iron Orchid Designs has always been very conscious of quality. And when there is a problem, they are superb about handling it. So if you have a problem, please let your retailer know. If I'm your retailer, please reach out and tell me, because I will help you. I will take care of it for you. I don't want you to be disappointed that a product you spent a lot of money on doesn't work well for you. I want you to always be happy with the products that you purchase that are manufactured by Iron Orchid and even Rethunk Junk. We take great pride in the brand that we carry, the brands that we carry, because we carry them because they're the best quality. Hands down, period, end of story, all day, every day. So make sure you let us know. There we go. I wanted a butterfly in there, y'all. And there she is, beautiful. I have another butterfly. I'm not sure I'm going to use her, but I'm going to leave her right there just in case. Now, let's get some Tough Top on this transfer. Just enough to seal it. Just enough. Because we do not want to oversaturate. If you didn't see last week, don't oversaturate your transfers with your sealant. If you do, you run the risk of oversaturating the sticky, the glue that holds your transfers on. And if you do that, your transfer will release. It will bubble, and it might take some time. It might not happen overnight, but it will happen. So always be very cautious about oversaturating your transfers with your sealant, because it'll go bad on you. It will go bad. And I tell you what, I'm going to bring my fan under. Ooh, be careful here. We got a lot of wiring going on, y'all. All right, there we go. I didn't knock anything over yet, but give me a minute. I'm working on it. I'm going to lay this down right here, and I'm going to turn the fan on, because our next steps, and I'm going to turn both cameras on because I feel like I can't talk to you. There we go. The low down's pretty low down. The up high is pretty up high. But it'll give us, and I've got my phone, so if I put my glasses on, I can see if you're with me. There we go. Let's see. Are we live? We are. Let me turn my volume down. Let me know that you can hear me, because I've got my earphone on and I'm not really close to this camera, and I don't want to leave you, scoop, I don't want to leave you not being able to hear me. All right, we're going to grab some fresh paint brushes, we're going to grab our colors, and we're going to lay some more color in just like we did right here last week. And that color may not be, this is one of my favorite parts. That color may not be in the lines. That color may be completely out of the lines. I love it like that. I really do. And it's fun, and it's very freeing when you paint. And you don't have to worry about where the colors land. You just paint. You just paint and create. So I want to put a little bit of a dark shadow here. We've got all of the green going on. We're going to address this edge right here. And hopefully by tomorrow, we will be able to finish this up. Let's put some dark night in here. And we may do that on another cubby too, because I love, this is Farmhouse Navy and Midnight. Now let me know as I've got my back turned to you if you can hear me well, and let me know if you can see really well. Tip you down just a little bit. There we go. I'm going to do a little bit of the rooftop here, and I'll go ahead and saturate that and let it run on down. And let's keep cracking lids, because I have all my favorite colors to work with here. Let's move into some violet shadow. Almost dipped it right back in that farmhouse navy mix. This is still drying. I'm going to work around it, but I really want to put some in it, so I'll probably just put some in it. It's okay. It's perfectly fine. And let's put some up here in this night sky. Moving right along. So you know we've got to put some peacock feather blue in here, right? We'll bring it right up to the edge of that fern. I'm going to leave that brush in there because we'll come back to it. Do you multicolor paint anything? Do you love to mix your colors, blend your colors? Hey Sherry, good morning. Thank you so much for being here. Sherry and I've been chatting this morning. One of these days I'm hoping to get Sherry out of St. Augustine. She goes all over the world. Well, mostly just to Costa Rica. But one of these days I'm hoping Sherry will just come on up from St. Augustine. It's not that long a trip. It's really not that far. Come on over, Sherry. Come on over and let's play some paint and some iron orchid designs and some salt wash. Sherry owns Sea Breezy Designs, and if you are not following her, I really need you to. She is an extraordinary instructor, a fabulous painter, a very imaginative creator, and a great friend to boot. So make sure you get involved with Sea Breezy. Sherry, drop your @ link in the comments so everybody can follow you more easily. Because I want everybody to follow everybody and be friends and hang out and learn. Because that makes the world a happier place. I've got to be careful right there about oversaturating, and I'm just going to town like it doesn't matter. Only because I just put that piece of transfer on. I will seal it again once the paint is dry. Alright, I'll squish up my cloth. Good morning, Miss Judy. How are you? Look, it's like the gang is here or something. That would be a fun road trip. Come on. Drop your link, Sherry. Make sure you do that. Just put your @ sign and your Sea Breezy. And she's located, you're at Coconut Barrel. Y'all just moved. So make sure that everybody can find you, because listen, a lot of folk from this neighborhood come down to your neighborhood for vacation. So if you are in St. Augustine area, make sure you stop by Coconut Barrel and see all the wonderful handcrafted work of not only Sherry MacArthur, but all of the Florida artisans that are located inside the Coconut Barrel. Look at those magic colors. Oh, they're so pretty. I'm going to tamp this out just a little bit more on this side, and I'm going to blend it on over underneath my little jaguar friend. Because those colors look good. Look at that. Oh, I'm in love with it. There's something missing here. We have violet shadow. We have wild berry. We don't have any coral crush. But I think I really want more wild berry on here. And I will forego the coral crush on this one. But I do want a little bit more wild berry. I love how rich this color is. There we go. A little bit in here. A little bit in here. There we go. Alright. That makes me happy. We're going to let that sit for just a minute. And I'll tell you what we're going to do now is let's bring our greens in so that we can put the leaves like we did up here. Let's bring the leaves in. Good morning, Miss Debbie. How are you? All right. Let's get something we can do green with. And let's green up right here. We'll do a couple of our different shades of green. I got out some different stamps today to work with. I'm going to go ahead and do a good little pat of green on this side right here. We're going to bring those leaves and the flowers on around on this middle shelf, because no matter whether I raise this cabinet up or down or leave it like it is, this shelf is going to be the most prominent. All the rest of them are going to show, and I'm going to probably pat some more green in here, some more color in here, and we'll stamp right there as well. We've got all the cubbies done except these bottom two, and y'all don't want to see me crawling around on the floor. Nobody needs to see that, so we'll do those later. We'll focus right here on our uppers, and we're going to be almost done with this in like no time at all. So there's my pine shadow, and let me grab my eucalyptus. Grab some eucalyptus. And yeah, I'm gonna dip right straight in. I am. And we're gonna blend this out with a little spritz and some tamping on this as well. So I'm gonna, right here, I'm gonna soften the greens all the way to this edge. Like it. All right, now a little spritzer. I'm going to spritz my wild berry, and we're going to tamp it all at the same time. Just because I love the way the leaves turned out up here with the wild berry and the violet shadow behind it, I'm going to go ahead and add some color in with my green. Bring it on out a little bit. It just looks like I colored and put things in. Once it's finished, it'll be a more cohesive look. It will be softer. But you have to go through this part to get to that part, because this way you get the colored background. And I like the colored background, then the definition over the top of that, instead of the opposite. If you stamp and then paint, you usually have to stamp again to redefine your lines. But if you paint and then stamp, you don't have to color inside the lines. I don't know who told you you had to do that, but it's true. You don't have to. See? And if you paint then stamp, you get this feeling when you look at it that you're actually looking into the flora and fauna of a forest. Because if you stare at it long enough, there is very little definition. And if you're not sure, if you don't believe me, if you think I've lost my mind, go outside this evening at dusk and look into the woods and tell me exactly what you see. There will be a blur. There will be a point where there's no definition. And it'll be a happy place to hang out too. There we go. We'll tone that down and soften it. It just, it splattered. I love the color combination here. Absolutely love it. While this is drying, let's roll back up into here. We have all of our other cubbies greened except for the bottom two. Let's let them lie. We'll get to those soon. And I really don't think we need to do a whole lot to them. We'll let them live. I'll fill in some blank space. Might add a little bit more green to them. But they can live. We want this showcase right here, and we'll let everything play off the sides of this showcase. But we need to address this right here. This drives me crazy. And the great thing is if you do a transfer, you can put it wherever you want. And with this 8-piece set, I separated it, and I just happened to have 8 cubbies to put it in. The tragedy in that is that you do have a cut line, and it's very well defined on this section, which leaves us with this harsh edge right here. So we've got a couple of choices. We can add more transfer pieces to it, but at some point we're going to end up with something that doesn't look like it belongs together, or we can create whatever that edge should be in our mind. I was like this close to using some lemon drop transfers, but they're too big. These are much smaller, and they would be very misplaced. So let's not misplace our visual. And I have a couple of things. So this is my Lady of Shallot. I cut them apart, I put them in a bucket, and here they are. I'm going to set those to the side in favor of Frond Botanicals. Now I cut these apart as well. So, oh, I'm going to climb up off the floor. That's a stretch. Let me come right up here for a minute, and I'm going to pull these out of the bag. I made my own masks for these long time ago. But because we've got such a harsh edge, we need to come in and soften it and blend it. And I think the best thing we could do is utilize some of these Frond Botanical stamps. So there are these beautiful leaves, and these are 3 or 4 different sizes right here. Here we go. That's the second, that's the third. And then we've got the little baby leaf. I love this little baby leaf because it stamps in just about anywhere. And we have your ferns. Now this is a big piece right here. And then we have lots of smaller fern pieces, lots of them. And then we have this one stray, and I love this piece. It is a great filler. You can use any portion of it instead of using all of it, and it's a great backfill piece. So let's get our stamping tools out. I sat down on the floor and my feet fell asleep, so I'm stomping them. Getting old is not for wimps, y'all. You have to be able to tolerate the pain. And sitting on the floor is definitely not for older people. Yes, this is a great stamp set. I'm probably going to lay it right back down on top of my tub so I can get to it. And I'm going to, let's kick over to a single view. I'm going to take, I need all my life down here in the floor with me apparently. But I'm going to take my little, let's see if I can do it from down here. I can. We're just going to kick over to a solo view right here. There we go. Because I want you to be able to see how I stamp this in. Are the lights glaring too much? If they are, let me know, and I can cut it down a little bit. Or I can cut it off completely. Alright, let's see. We're going to leave this alone, let this dry. We've got the fan on it. I'll turn the fan down right there. There we go. That should help dry that out. And then we'll focus up here. Now I do have this butterfly. I can lay the butterfly in and that will cover up part of the edge. And then I can come in over the top with some of the fronds. I don't know. I don't know. I think I want to leave this one out though. I'm just not feeling it. So I'm going to set this butterfly over here. Just not feeling her being a part of my life right now. I want my thin melt, and I still have my leaves from last week on my thin melt. So I'll take those out. Those are from the peonies, and I'll lay those up there. I'm going to lay this in right here. And we're still using our Stone Gray Iron Orchid Designs ink. I'm going to lay a line down. I like to freeform my ink, y'all. I cannot help it. If I use my ink pad, I make a mess. All right. I'm going to take the protective cover off. I'm going to start with this one. A good load on the brayer. Not too much, not too little, all the way around. See, as I roll it, it's got a good load all the way around. So let's start by using the whole piece. And we will lay this in right here. Anchor it, rub it gently so as to impress that ink with the relief onto your surface. And then gently peel it off. And I didn't get a full impression. I'm okay with that. We're going to muddle in some color. So we're gonna do this the opposite way that we did the florals. We're gonna stamp in and then we'll muddle in the color as we go, because I don't want it heavy like this. I want it a little bit softer so it makes the transition from the greenery into the florals. You'll see. Stick with me. I'll show you what I mean. It's crazy stuff. All right. I only inked to down here, so if I impress this, it's not going to be a real heavy impression. I'm okay with that because we're going to come right here and we're going to lay this right beside that. I'm trying not to go over the top of my roses, my flowers, because I don't want this to impede on that. So it stops right there. And it will just lean out from the bottom side. Oh, let me grab my baby wipes. It is a great height to work with, y'all. It really is. And real quickly, your baby wipes are always fantastic to clean your stamps off really quick so that you don't leave the ink on there to dry. You don't want the ink to dry on your stamp set because it will cake up on your relief, and then you won't get the image that you want when you get ready to stamp again. You can still clean these off after you're done. I usually do, but this is a great way to just quickly clean off your stamp and keep moving. Now let's get some of these ferns out of our fronds set. And these will give an oppositional finish. And I've got two choices right here. I can mask my initial image, which is probably what I need to do, so that this doesn't lay over the top of that and create a muddy finish. 'Cause I don't like that. I like a nice clean image. So here's my mask, and I'm going to lay it right over the top of where I stamped, so that when I lay this one down, it does not muddy my image. All right, there we go. You see how awesome that worked? So the ink from the top of this laid over this. It didn't impede on this, but I got a nice image down beside it. Can you see that? Oh, it's looking like the Jungle Book. I love, love, love it. I think, gosh, the way it looks on the camera, I could even hang some from the top down and it would be proper. I think I could do that. I think I've already started, so I'm not going to stop now. All right, so we've got one here. I want to do an oppositional, so I'm going to clean this off real quick. With these fern pieces, I have a straight up to the left, a straight up to the right, and then I have a completely straight up. So that will give me my centerpiece right there. I want my centerpiece to come out from behind. So I'm going to save this till last. And let's see. Oh, here comes the train, y'all. Wait for it. There it is. All right, that means it is 9:41 a.m. We are doing good. All right. This will go right beside that one. Let me find my mask for it. That's for the big one. That's for the little one. They're hard to see, y'all. They're clear. So if you get ink on them, don't wipe the ink off, because you want that. I'm going to lay this one at a little bit of an angle. Anchor it, impress it, don't squiggle it. I squiggled it a little bit, don't squiggle it. So there's that. And that's not a harsh impression. That's kind of light right there, and I think that's just fine. I think that's just fine. We'll let that be. Let's see. Let's wipe this, and then we'll do the centerpiece. And that's probably why I got such a light impression right there, is because I was trying to hold everything together. All right, let's get this centerpiece, and let's roll it. And we're gonna need, got it. All right, I'm gonna leave that right there. I'm gonna get a little bit heavier ink on this one. Now, I'm not going to ink the entire piece because I don't need the entire piece inked, right? Because it's only going to stand up through the center. And If you're trying to reach me on my cell phone right now, I cannot answer you. I'm really sorry. There we go. That one's coming way on up there. That's okay. That's a nice rich image. And there it is. Oh, that's a nice rich image right there. Let's run one more piece. I'm gonna lay that down. I really want this. Just the tip edge of it. Just the tip edge of it. Right here. And then right here. I need brake axle on this rolling cart. There we go. I love that. Now the ink is going to take a little while to dry, but that did give me a lot more fill and it cut that harsh line. I think I'm going to take this long piece. I'm infatuated with it. I'm not obsessed by it, but I'm infatuated with the thought right this minute. Let me clean these off. I am infatuated with this hanging from the top down over here by the roses. Oh yeah, we're in. We're doing this. I'm going to clean this section off right here. I'm going to bring this up so I've got a little bit more space to work in. So turn it around. I want a fabulous load. I don't need to ink the whole piece, so I'm going to ink some of it. And we're just going to let this hang down from the top side. I wiggled it. If you wiggle it, wipe it. Just like that. And now leave it alone because it's wet, and if you stamp over it again, it's just going to smudge and smear. I'll get back to that when I have a little bit better leverage to push on it. I don't want to push too hard and knock the cabinet over, but that's a thing. That's a thing I'm going to do. Let's lay one right here, because now that I'm infatuated with it, I'm not going to let it go until I do it. There we go. A nice good load. I'm going to lay it in. This time I'm going to hold it still. There you go. There we go. Oh, that gave a beautiful impression. Can I get you in there to see it? Maybe. Let's, I don't have something tight right here. There we go. That one. That one. Alright, so I'm going to bring you over. I don't know if I can get you close enough. Let me bring the cabinet around a little bit. I'll have to take a picture later, because if I keep moving this camera, I'm going to knock it completely over. Let's put another flower in here. Let's go ahead and use this area. I'm going to go ahead and mask these. Let's cover the masking again, because that's going to be important. Although let's see, I've got a stamp and I've got a transfer. And I should just put more green right there, shouldn't I? That's what it needs, is green. It needs green leaves. It definitely needs green leaves. because I am in love with these. How are we doing for dry down here? This is drying nicely, but it's not ready. Not ready yet. So let's get those leaves back out, the ones we used last week. And let's lay some green leaves back in. And we'll bring them out here. I should mask that because I don't want to damage that image. So I'm going to grab my masks. And last week I did the right thing. I had the tape on the mask. That was helpful. So I will pull the tape and let's cover. That's not the right mask, so we'll need to crack this open and get it out. Bonus masks included. When Iron Orchid Designs recognized that we needed those masks, it made all the difference in our stamping and our ability to lay images side by side without modeling them up. Let's stand up because I think my masks might be here. They are. They're right here behind the camera. There we go. And I need to be careful because I've got the fan on, so let me find the right mask for that leaf. There is the flower. And there is leaves, so it's definitely not it. Might work, might not. And I don't want to mess those up because those turned out pretty. I like them. Here we go. Here's the leaf. Right here. Do you remember the dress-up doll kits we used to play with? I find so much of what we work with Iron Orchid Designs to be so much fun because it's so much like what we used to work with. Oh, there's my honey bun. Alright. Not the right leaf, but it's okay. It'll cover it. It will suffice. I'm going to tape that down right there. And that will cover me so that when I lay this one in, I won't interfere with the image that already exists. So, let's bring this right here. It'll go right over the top of that one and come out the other side. Let me put my knee on the rolly part. Honey, if you're on the to-do list today, a brake axle on this rolly cart would be awesome. Oh, it's Charlotte. It's Charlotte. I thought it was my hubby who's working on a honey, what do you need done today? He's here.
I had to let him in. He said, Charlotte, can you let me go inside?
Oh, he locked himself out. Bless him. And he didn't want to disrupt. He's so precious.
Did not.
Well, good morning, Charlotte. I need a brake axle on this rolly cart today. It is 9:52 already. I'm having fun.
It looks good.
Isn't this beautiful?
Yes. It looks
And I softened this hard edge right here.
Ooh.
So it's not, there he is. Hey, honey, since today you're asking me what I need done, can I get a brake axle put on this rolly cart? Because every time I push to do something, the rolly cart moves. He's laughing at me, y'all. He's just laughing at me.
All you need is one of them alfalfa brakes.
I just need an alfalfa brake. I just need something to keep this thing from moving. All right, now I do need that other mask. So we'll use this. We'll cover that up right there. So now we have both of these leaves covered up so we won't impede on them. And we will, let me grab another piece of tape And we'll lay this one down. There we go. Because the fan's moving it around, but our second shelf is almost dry. Alright, let's bring this one straight over the top of those. We'll bring it out this way toward our flora and fauna, more fauna than flora. And that way, this is the part of that step that you're going to see. And when I peel these off, I don't have a muddy image and I have a beautiful finish for those leaves. We've got time. I'm going to do two more. I'm going to lay this back across this one so that I don't mess that up. And I'm going to grab my big leaf because I like it the best. And I will ink it and we will place it right over here coming out of that corner. Alright, let me put my knee on. I've got an alfalfa break on my rolly cart now. There we go. Oh, and it's not even going to touch the other one. We'll lay it right in the corner. There we go. One more. Ink that really well. And then we'll take our mask and we'll cover this one. I want to move this piece up so that my smaller leaf doesn't get involved in the tape. We'll just bring it right here. It'll just come out from the side a little bit. One under the other. We'll stem down there. There we go. Now when I take the mask off, I have two beautiful and very distinctive leaves over there. And an amazing image, a beautiful scene. I'm down here on the floor. Can you see me? Let's do both cameras, because I know you'd rather see that than me. But look, y'all. Roll it back so you can see. There we go. Isn't she beautiful? So you can see the whole cabinet. Here we go. And I'll get up off the floor. Slow rolling off the floor. Listen, don't let your transfer pieces sit in a bucket for a year and a half and get old and unusable. They get very difficult to release. If you have purchased a brand new bungalow, whether you bought it from me or someone else, contact who you purchased it from if you have any issues with it releasing. Now, they're transfers, and we've been working with all kinds of other products, so sometimes just not having done it for a little while, you forget. You do have to rub it, and you do have to be careful with it, and it's not just going to pop off of there. You do have to work with it. So if you're working with it, keep going. If it won't release, let your retailer know. We'll help you. Promise. In the meantime, let your imagination run wild, pun intended. Grab your Coffee and Create collection products today with the coupon code COFFEE. That will get you 10% off any of the products in the collection. Where can you find the collection? I'm glad you asked. Click over to the website. The link should be right here. Click that link, go to the website where it says interactive mode. Click that banner and shop away. 10% savings on any of the products that we have used in February on Coffee and Create. Great news is tomorrow's the 1st of March and we can start a new collection. Prices and coupon code are good through 11:59 p.m. tonight. I am excited to see it finished too, Miss Judy. Thank you so much for being here. Sherry, thank you for being here as well. Make sure you go like and follow Sea Breezy Designs, and if you're in the St. Augustine area, stop by Coconut Barrel and give them $1 or $2 for something fabulous. Meanwhile, stop by here. Guess what else happens tomorrow? It's the 1st of March. That means we are back to regular business hours. Winter hours are over. It's going to be 80 degrees today. We're going to throw the doors open. We're going to celebrate the end of February. And starting tomorrow, the PD State Farmers Market and Two Girls Treasure stay open until 6 p.m. Stop in and see us. We're open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. I love being able to say that because it's on all my business cards. Thank you for being here for Coffee and Create this morning. I hope you are inspired to play with your own iron orchid designs and Rethunk Junk paint products. Come see us. Show us your inspiration and have a wonderful day. Thanks for being here, y'all.